welcome to episode number 6. Episode number 6? No, episode number 7.
What
Episode number 7 of the Tribe UG podcast. And as usual, I'm with the Count. The Count, do you want to greet the people?
Yes, sir. I'm in the building.
Polo, the writer.
What up?
The good people of Great Point Media who are doing our sound. And of course, LNF on the visuals and the photos. The photos you keep seeing.
Those ones. New profile picture.
So LNF. And again, we are joined by a guest. But before we get to our guest, shout outs to Les. Les couldn't join us. He went to South Africa to set up the Amazon office. Yeah, but he'll be joining us on another episode. But now, on to our guest.
Is this episode 7, episode 7.2?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It will be 7.2.
Technically speaking. I'll not defend that. You talk.
Yeah.
You don't still talk.
So, welcome to episode 7.2. But we want you to let the people know whom they are going to listen to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 2016. Hey, it's 2021.
Yeah.
Is it a 2021 scheme?
We don't want 2016s.
Yeah, 2016 was. 2016, I wrote 2016. 2021, I guess I'm still play one. I might get 20 C, I might get one, but if you ask 20 Benjamin, his photos be the one. Oh, wait, I'm talking about 20 Benjamin. Oh, I'm sorry. I should be talking about LNF. This is blowing money fast. They should call him BMF. So we get back to the rhymes as I'm kidding all these freestyles. Forgive me, but I'm sorry for this day. If you ask my name, yes, they call me Play. Up to my side, what's his name? He's the Count, but he ain't got money yet. He's always trying to count cash. I'm sorry. I should go back to flipping all this glory. Acting like I'm better. Acting like your girl just got wetter. Maybe by the end of the day, whatever. It's Eid, right? Nah, I'm not gonna rap about Eid.
Hey, come on, man.
Nah. They didn't pay for it.
Man, thank you.
Hey.
I think Ian was waiting for the part where he dropped his name, but that part just
Man. Well, we didn't get that. Hey, well,
and let me tell you, even if you had dropped it, we're going to edit it out.
Who's a Felix?
Who's a Felix situation? So that I know how it feels like.
Just see you smiling over there in your bedroom, like, yeah.
Hi, man, thanks for coming through again.
For those that have not heard him say it more than once, we got Play in the building.
Yeah,
Play one.
But let me ask. There is this thing in your songs. What it sound like? What are the actual words?
What it sound like?
You know, actually one of those guys saying the wrong thing.
I said the wrong thing. I'm there walking.
I came up with that in very, very long time ago. Like, I was still in campus, first, second year. Back then, when I made my first decent beat, and I called the song It Sound Like, which the beat was so dope, I feared to write it till today. I have never written that song. I feared the beat. And then the chorus was It Sound Like. So every time you hear the beat, I'm like, what it sound like. So that became the chorus, which I never recorded. Imagine having a chorus for a song you haven't recorded. And then I kept with it.
These are the people.
You leave me.
These are the people.
They come.
Play has just hit us with that
Random facts.
and he has thrown in the beat that he produced, and we have to hit on it and tell people that you brings it.
Yeah, man. I need my coin, my flowers, my flowers.
You bring it as a producer. How much are your beats?
My beats are 500K.
Yeah,
and I'll be there on the studio and make sure you make a good song.
But take a case, I withdraw.
Give me a check and remove it.
I might be looking for Play01 on mobile money.
I thought I was sending to Play01.
Find one of those names. Mwere Philip.
But did you produce first or you gravitated to rapping first? Like which came first?
The producer or the beat or the rapper?
When I was in school, it was in 2016. I wanted to rap, but those days we didn't have cool studios and YouTube. YouTube didn't exist. Holy shit, I'm old. So like I was like, man, we need beats. And I think there's some few beats on those guys used to sell these speakers. Then I was like, when I needed to write songs, I wanted to write raps. but I didn't have beats. So that's when I met some guy in school who became an HP, gave me something called Cakewalk. And it was hard to use. It's hard. That's how I learned how to write music, because you had to learn how to do those, those flat, those musical signs. I had to learn how to do that. To make the music in the beats. So there was 70 instruments. And then I met LP. No, I didn't not meet. I was in the same school with LP. LP, lyrical professor, who gave me Fruity Loops 3.4. That's how I started making beats. Because he had my work stuff and saw the potential, like, try with this program, see what you can do with it. And yeah, it worked.
So you're like Reverb Nation niggas.
Dude, we built Reverb Nation. We pitched Reverb Nation. Like, we see what you guys are doing, but try this.
So you said the guy became HP. You voted for him because he gave you some software. You're like, man, let me buy this how you buy the vote.
That's how guys get votes. Guys out here being promised beans.
So from the production, then you jumped into...
No, I made beats so that I could rap.
Yeah.
I wanted to rap, but I was just writing raps to air. And that didn't make sense. Or just imagining some Snoop Dogg beat, and you're right, that didn't make sense. So I started making beats that had something to rap onto. Because we didn't have producers. Not expensive producers were those days.
Did you guys ever rap to like desks? Like have somebody that's banging a beat on a desk.
And those days, if you rapped right in our school, you were low-key wannabe. So we kept our presence hidden. Man. We were just in the corners. We were Batman vibes, man.
Like Ian's school that he talks about, we're in the jungle. Our school in the jungle.
This guy used to freestyle with Flex in the DH.
How did that go?
I didn't freestyle with Flex. We used to freestyle and the Flexes used to freestyle. The Flexes were gods. We looked up to those guys. But I mean, we go to the DH and guys are banging
just because
tables
Flex
and
isn't
stuff.
listening,
Yeah.
Just because Flex isn't listening.
No, but I remember I freestyled with a friend of his called Ernest Ntanda, and oof, it was brutal. Ernest was a god, and I was this kid trying to rap.
Everyone is a god.
And I remember the time me and Benny had beef. I don't remember.
And Benny was a god.
So I used to say I was a better rapper than Benny. So Benny set me up to freestyle with Ernest.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. It was a proper beating.
I think the one freestyle I remember, some guy called Semogere in school, and we were just messing around. Then we started playing Rakas. And then we were just like doing like a back and forth easy, because we had this thing. At that time I was in boutique, so we had outside just playing music, loud guys just doing whatever. Then we started freestyling, dissing each other, just jokes. Then when my part came on, it was that part where they say, whenever Clear Cut comes to the song was playing, of course, we didn't have beats. So I was like, they say, when you see me do some, you say, So I started saying, you say. Then I was like, you say, and I ran out of words. And I just sent a song, and Navi goes, Oli Wakabi. I was like, everyone was like, bam. I was like, yep, I killed it. It was just a fluke. I was like, yeah, that's how it goes.
So would you say all that background kind of shaped your battling situation, especially when you got into it with Painkiller?
Dude, I have that's about my first win in a battle. I have a history. Okay, that one in particular was a fluke. I battled in SA in a while back. Some guy called the Raglan kid. That kid is a problem. This kid was a problem. And the thing is, you spoke their language, so it was easy for guys to relate. And I was crushed. Like, it was a competition. We're going song for song. I had songs were going. Finals, it was me versus him. He crushed me, no question. Then I was in Germany, but with some American dude, and I was drunk. No, I wasn't drunk. We were from a Kendrick Lamar concert in a bus. He crushed me. Like, me, I was just getting walloped left and right. And I'm like,
this is Kendrick Lamar, Section 80, Kendrick.
Section 80 Kendrick, yeah. This was around the time swimming pools came out. That was the time.
Section 80.
Kendrick.
That was my shit. But anyway.
So when it came to the Painkiller, my anxiety was on 100.
Yeah,
I was on
history
100.
is not on my side.
Man, you start taking L's over. I'm like, I'm not, man. It's do or die. I'm not
Apply
dying.
the system.
Like, I can ask Omar, because Omar saw me practicing, man. Dude, I don't even know if he enjoyed the battle, because I used to pass all my lines by him. I'm like, yo, what about this? He'd be like, yeah, I see where you're going, but it doesn't hit hard. I'm like, damn it, go back to the room and rewrite. I wrote for like 1.5 months. I wrote like 2 long papers filled with bars. That's why when guys were like, man, you're one with I'm like, no, I wrote. I have to recite my shit. I have stories to tell. I tried on my stuff, man. I went through. Because
So during the battles, there was this thing we used to do back in the day where you're doing a freestyle battle and the audience, their job is to throw a word at you.
Yeah.
and you have to run with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys ever do that?
I do it these days.
And you see, for me, the most
You do it when you're trying to impress people chicks at your parties.
I'm not trying it in front of chicks, man. The chicks always look for me and do it in front of me. Boom. That was what I was saying.
what I always found interesting about that was it sharpened your mind.
It does.
How quickly you think and you pick up this, and because I realize sometimes I've had artists who are like, I just walked into the studio, I didn't even write, I freestyled my verse, and you're like, what? That was a freestyle?
No, dude, it's actually dope. Me, it's fun. But freestyling is fun for two reasons. One, if I'm done with the freestyle, I will not remember 90% of what I rapped. It's gone. I won't remember it. But every moment, it's as if doing a woman, Like every moment you're enjoying, but you won't remember. By the end, you're like, well, that happened.
What are we? I can't remember.
I don't know if you're dating, but if she listens in and this is the
Keep quiet.
review.
The point is, no, what I mean is, you don't remember every stroke during the sexual intercourse. But when you're doing it every stroke, you're like, yeah, that's it right there. Like that was the right one right there. But if I slipped it to the side, So that's what it is. That's what I'm saying.
You pay has come to replace Ian.
Oh yeah.
You do Ian's job of taking
All I'm saying,
And he's a better rapper than Ian.
But I'm not even a rapper anymore.
Exactly.
so hard day, man. So all of you guys get done fast. All I'm saying is, when I finish a line and it hits the exact bar, at that moment, right as the line ends, your brain starts going into how will the next line start? How will the next line end? Will I make it to the end? So when it ends, you're like, damn it, I made it. Let's get another next one going. You just like good things. You're chilling like, will I make it to the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've gone from making beats to freestyling, but there's making actual music, organized chaos, organized noise. but there's making actual music, and I know we've talked about in the past episodes, we've referred to rappers that were active in 2014 and had a bright future, though Ian said some had bright futures in spreadsheets. But
It's not so bad on this side of spreadsheets.
but some may have a bright future in accounting. So since then we've had actual work from you. We've had an album. Gingerbread was a system.
I was watching the video today morning by the review of the party.
Because again, for the people out there, listen to it. It's everywhere. Get on that title and see what going. No, it's a very good album. Like even today, and that for me is always a plus. Listening to music from 2017, and not feeling like it's from 2017, feeling like it might as well be.
Have come out today.
So and that's pretty dope. Dope features, both the ones that we knew and the ones that we got to hear for the first time on the project. Or at least for me, like I can't speak for everyone. I may say I had J Watts for the first time on that project, and something like we was rolling with and like Felix already had them trying new emails.
That he oversaw.
Listen to my song. Can you post it for me? He was there blue ticking emails, feeling powerful like other scanning.
Gatekeeper.
No, but so album, how was it? How was the experience? I want to give the listeners something to do the rappers.
How that album happened. Yeah. So why do I start with? Like, first of all, the album was a necessary interlude because I've been working on Aura for a while. But that album was supposed to be Aura. But then I had for lack of a better word, identity crisis because I didn't feel like Aura was grounded enough. It was called a Ugandan rap album, but it wasn't Ugandan enough. So I felt like I was lacking something. Before that, when I was where I was, it was easy to make music like that because that was what I was with. But then, coming back to the roots, I'm like, I have to ground it a bit more. So I paused. What I was working on in Aura. I was like 5-6 songs deep. I paused. I thought about it. Then I did gingerbread as a break to see if I can still come back, if I can still ground myself properly. And somehow it worked. You know, the song, everything was supposed to be it was supposed to be the first single of Aura. But it just came out and like, okay, let me just try to first finish Gingerbread. And then somehow it worked. Like I got lucky with some collabs, I met some cool people, and I just had in the new guys as if I had gay next people. These guys were like, hey.
Yeah, that was dope. And
everything tune is done with Sony and the Myth. Guys, check it out. Like,
I was playing it this morning when I was coming, and it's a yacht champagne vacation kind of song.
Man, Rick Ross, huh?
Yeah.
I should get one of those lines. What are those cool things Rick Ross says?
Mark is always making fun of Rick Ross. Mark, like you just have to drop expensive bottles, fancy
chilling
cars.
in a Maybach, sipping on some cognac.
Like these are Leaves Fast and Mark. The chorus, sitting in my Maybach.
No, it's really like it's really. Bad bitch has his fat. You know, it was like dope car, dope drink, dope chick,
woman,
money big, throwing a huh.
And nowadays it drops the mansion.
It is what it is. So.
You feel feeding a dolphin asparagus. In the words of Busta Rhymes. Have you ever felt a dolphin asparagus?
But speaking of Ross and the kind of music he does, it's tough here to do show of brag rap music.
Guys are broke. You are going to broke. Why are you going to flow so?
I think you can, but in a clever way. Are you clever in that way?
It can be cleverly done. It can be cleverly done in a way of when I reach this peak where I think I need to be, blah, blah. But in terms of what I have now, like, please calm down. Joseph Boda credit.
Do you know how to flow?
Of course, you have to be at that level.
Like that Nyilili thing of, what's it called, Tennessee, where it's like, I'm rolling with the Tito Boeli, something like that. But basically, it was in a context, like, in a context, and it was so dope.
Yeah,
but at some point, Tito Boeli had like a motorcade, like, you know?
Wow, you can do stuff in Uganda.
But still, you see, when Ross or someone else is bragging about a whole fleet of Suburbans looking like he works for government, it's true. But here, which fleet of Mpenkonis? Which Mpenkon?
First of all, the musicians, see, given the music industry now, it's a financial struggle. If you have money, guys, like, first, you're not one of us.
Yeah.
The only way you can floss money is if you got it through music. That's the first thing. Secondly, you can floss, if you're flossing money, you have to do it. Don't say, I have this. Just do the video and show them. They won't say anything. Trust me.
Yeah, but you see, again...
You see Shiba.
Yeah.
Can I talk about Shiba's man? I've seen Shiba's mansion. Seen what else. Guys, she didn't say, but I have what this. She just showed the cars. Just showed the crib, brother.
Yeah, but you know, these days, also, because of the internet and the research people do, if you do a video and you're flossing, there's a Lexus LX in the background, somebody else will be like, but that's Mike's Lexus.
But if it's yours, though, okay, you have to have it too.
Exactly, like it's tough, and that's why, like we're saying in the other episode with James, our rap music here feels unrelatable because when somebody tries to floss, you're like, guy, you don't have a Benz. What are you saying?
But you know, if you're going to say popping bottles, you just say popping bottles. You don't say which ones. What are your popping bondo or your popping?
A bottle is a bottle.
It could even be mineral water.
I think that's why guys have been done for you.
Yeah,
I think that's why guys have been dead for UG hip hop. Because like when like the myth is supposed to be like, you know, bottles of warrant, you guys like, that's 20K up down here. I can grab that over here right now.
But it's what we take.
It's true. It is true. But it's nothing glamorized. That's someone's like, man, I wish I was.
But our life in general here is not that glamorous. There was an Ian Ortega article from like a week ago where he's talking about their 3 Ugandas.
Yeah, so that.
Yeah, so I think about most of us are in that Uganda with like a bit of a privilege. Sometimes you go to Nyege, you come back. There's no glamour of, we are in Dubai.
And the glamour people are honestly detached from us. We look at them and the Lucy smiles.
We're looking
that kind of them.
outside,
We just look at them like, we see, but we don't even know if we want to be there.
Yeah,
we don't know.
You've actually reminded me, like, Ian and I were in Nkosi, and of course everyone knows party life in Nkosi, so you'd expect that, like maybe any other university or maybe other young guys, people are going to dress up and go. Those niggas going to step out in their slippers and chop it, and bringing it in Hazapats. It's like different people, different vibes.
What was annoying though is we had Bossa Bash, and because there would be dudes coming from Kampala, our chicks would dress, and you're like, hold on, go Sinjo, all along you can bring it like this.
We don't really have 5 now. We have those
Target market.
Target market.
So then we spotted that.
Yeah, the thought is the target market. What's the audience checked in? Let's switch up.
That's why also us after school we looked for our target markets.
Target market.
You stay there.
That's a console over there.
Just put some aromatic. Anyway, Play. I want to take you Actually, I want to take you back to last year. Last year, where you told people,
Nice.
where you were like,
Receipts.
someone asked you, someone came and posted, Kenyan Tanzanian hip hop be getting mad views, straight-ish, no chidandali. What's the problem with you, G-hip hop? And your answer was, we shitted on mainstream, thought anyone who made mainstream music was fake, and you G-hip hop had to be about buzz and underground. And in this, we killed ourselves to a point where the mainstream actually believes that hip-hop is dead. And now we don't even support each other. We fight each other, and we definitely can't cross our own borders because of our 2012 to 2015 big-headed narcissistic fuck-ups.
Boom.
Then, an OG is like, not true. Nice try, though. It's very simple. Ugandan hip-hop plays on UG television, unlike Kenya. So Kenyans have an actual drive to get people to watch YouTube. And with Tanzania, they might have the lowest internet rates in EA, but also they just generally support their own. You come back and respond to the OG. You're like, you guys were always inside looking out. No, it's amazing how the person said internet rates, YouTube, but
And
you
you came
come
for
in
him.
and you're like, you guys were always inside looking out. I'm quite sure everyone who was majorly active in hip-hop between 2011 and 2014 will actually never see it because they were satisfied with what they experienced. For us who are looking for validation and acceptance, so the toxicity that you guys bred.
Okay, now before we come to Mike, can I first start by responding to his internet thing?
Yeah.
First, read it one more time. I need to remember. He said,
It is very simple. Ugandan hip-hop plays on UG television, unlike Kenya. So Kenyans have an actual drive to get people to watch YouTube.
now, first stop there. First of all, that's an excuse because if other types of music play on Ugandan television, why not hip-hop? Something's wrong with hip-hop. Now, continue.
And then he's like, and with Tanzania, they might have the lowest internet rates in EA, but also they just generally support their own.
Now, pause. Why don't we support our own? That still comes back to my point, which is going to be explained in the next part. Now we can continue.
So now, that was his segment.
Yeah.
But for you, it's about two things. Big-headed narcissistic fuck-ups, and then the toxicity.
Now, basically, my point is based off of his. My thing is, how do you basically saying one, we didn't support our own hip hop, and two, our music doesn't play on TV, right? Now, if you ask yourself, why do these things happen? Why doesn't our people play on TV? Why don't we support ourselves? Why don't we support ourselves comes down to my status, which is we fucked up, we disassociate ourselves from other people, so people are like, man, it's dead. So pretty much that's my point.
Yeah.
That's why don't we support? And why don't we play on TV? Everyone makes music videos. Kenneth Ogai released a music video. Everyone makes music videos. How many pop music videos have been shot the last 6 months?
A bunch.
Like all I can think about is Wonder Junior, and maybe me, maybe Navi.
You meant hip-hop videos. Huh?
Yeah, hip hop videos.
Yeah.
Hip hop videos.
Taka
Look, hip hop videos. Yes, Taka and J-Was, exactly. You see that? Is that enough for 6 months? That's literally average one video per 1.5 months. That's a horrible number compared to how many Ghana videos have been shot.
Yeah.
So why, and that also comes back to the same thing, because now that's hip hop not trusting themselves. Yet I'm sure there was a time there were a lot more videos. So now that is not the industry's problem. That is a hip hop problem. And my thing is, if since the hip hop problem comes back to my status, which is we fucked hip hop up. We fucked hip hop up. The way hip hop was in 2011, the way it was in 2011.
Who are the guys in 2011, 2012?
Everyone who you think of as hip hop knowledgeable at this moment.
2012.
Generation 2.
Generation
Generation 2.
Generation 2, that's the Takas.
Taka
is in Generation
Taka
2?
is Generation 2, actually.
Yeah.
Enigma is Generation 2.
Yeah, Enigma.
Lyrical Proof is
Goodfellas.
Generation 2. Goodfellas is Generation
Goodfellas.
2. JT.
JT.
Ryonga is
I
technically
think also
Generation 2.
JT is 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's like a 1 and 2, yeah. Ryonga is also like a 1 and 2. He came at the end of 1. Yeah, so pretty much. So the thing is, the rappers didn't per se do wrong, but then they were being influenced by too much narcissism, as I said, and people knowing it all. See, it's okay for someone to have an opinion, but then if you take your opinion as fact, then you start causing a situation. The fact that those days people used to hate on Drake, used to hate on Lil Wayne and whatnot, and these are the people who have become the right now. If you look at Lil Wayne, guys admit these days Lil Wayne is one of the nicest rappers. Like, let me ask you a question. Think about it. In the last 7 years, how many rappers have had collabos with mainstream acts or dancehall acts? Correction. Let's say the last 3 years, because that's easier to remember.
Last
5
3
years.
years. There is you. There is.
There's Navio.
Navi, that's a constant.
Always
That's a constant.
Do we?
Myth is also
Yeah,
there.
Miss
That's
is
also a
also in
constant.
there. Miss is also in there. I think that's the list, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a horrible number. That's a horrible. That's a,
Actually, it's
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think, but
yeah, because now get that and now change to.
Does Flex have anything outside?
that song is
Trying
quite
to think of
old.
These recent ones.
You are Bungie. That Bungie is Navios.
But that's different. No, I'm
The
saying-
one with Kemisha, is it more?
That's
That was
why-
like
that's why-
2012.
Exactly. Now
Yeah,
that's
like
where the second
2013,
question comes. How many were there between 2005 and 2012? Let me say. How many?
There were many.
Atlas,
Yeah,
Commission. You
yeah.
see the one many.
Yeah, Atlas had a bunch with Chameleon.
You see what I mean? And of course, the concert, Navi, the concert meets. Everyone was doing whatever. There's caution. The guys were mixing it up. So what happens is that gatekeepers that happened there made people uncomfortable with making mainstream music. Like, you want to make mainstream music, niggas be like, nah, bro, we can't let you through.
But sometimes, okay, yes, we might put it on maybe the way the system was or what we saw that was existing, what people thought was existing in the industry. But then still, even when you look at, let me say, like the newer guys, the younger guys,
Yeah.
whereby they're just following, whatever they're into. They're like, today,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing,
Yeah.
and we're doing it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
whoever was
gonna-
there before.
Yeah.
But even with them, there's not as much of it. Though there are those people, I mean, like Alagum, on his projects will always have a bit of this and that.
Yeah.
And not, okay, maybe some of them are still also under, should I call them underground or not as
Not as
Underground.
mainstream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least they're different genres still.
Do you realize that today's guys have a bit more comfort to do what they want?
The new
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, the new guys.
Yeah, and you see the new guys because there was a gap. The new guys
Exactly.
they're starting on like a fresh canvas.
Yes, there's
So
no
they are-
gatekeepers, no one
Yeah,
holding
they're recreating. They're creating the sound of what they feel like music, our UG hip hop should sound like now.
Yeah.
So they're dictating the direction where it goes without so much influence from
The hip hop
from the
family.
hip hop because there's really
Yes, Yes,
man,
it.
relax. Because when you look at it, because we're at a time where I feel like the new generation of hip hop
The
artists,
new wave. But
yeah,
anyway.
the new wave of these artists, they are shaping the industry to be more independent, but in a way of it's no longer there's nothing to ground them to.
Yeah.
So they can
So
go
they're
in any
all over the
direction.
place. Yeah, they can go in any direction.
Although, okay, so there's a good side to that in a sense that sky is the limit type
Yeah.
of vibe or whatever. But at the same time, you see, first of all, I've said in a previous episode, you cannot, to some extent, you cannot step in if you don't know what has happened in the past. If you don't know, I feel like now, like what players said, some of these surprises we didn't maybe know about, or maybe giving his insight on his experience and stuff like that. Maybe that gives us some insight into some things that we might have seen, some Facebook posts, some comments, some tweets, and you're like, oh, maybe if you put this one with that one, it makes sense. And maybe how can I take from Play's experience
Yeah.
to get something better today? How can I take from, like, how do I pick the positive from that experience and drop the negative from that experience? I feel like we have to know where things came from in order to
that is
make
true.
it move. Otherwise, if you still do new stuff and you're still in some sort of bubble still, because again, even if they come through and they're having new ideas and new whatever, but those ideas are being maintained in their little bubble. How do they get out of that and make it still reach?
So I had this conversation. One of the guys was like, "Man, actually, some guy posted us like, man, screw the OGs. They don't advise us. They don't help us. So like, when guys have been in the game, don't give us guidance and everything." The thing is, from the first, like I said, generation one, generation two, generation one, GNL. Babaluku, Navio, everyone. Well, it literally leaked straight into generation two. Like the game just grew.
Yes.
Like basically the first generation went and next generation came and they just built and now it was strong.
Yeah.
That's when the English and everyone came on and there's all that inter-whatevers. Now the problem was now moving from the second generation to the third generation.
Yeah.
That first of all, the third generation feared to come in. You realize, hence the gap. They feared to come in.
Yeah.
The fearing came from the gatekeeping. Like when the Lil Rich, I was telling about this kid Lil Rich, who always used to post and used to spam. And yes, used to spam. I think it was Lil Rich. Ilg, not Lil Rich. Lil Rich is dope, shout out that guy. Ilg, he sent me a trap thing, some songs is crazy. So Ilg used to post and used to spam guys. And that's what guys didn't like. He didn't disrespect anyone. He didn't do anything wrong. He used to spam people, and I think that was the problem with what he was doing. So what happens is, from his spamming, guys kind of felt a certain type of way about it, and they blocked him. And I think sooner or later, he kind of faded out. So at that point, people are now fearing at that point, guys are now, they don't know how to approach the game. Guys don't know how to enter the industry. So that's where there's that blank spot. And all these guys, I know there's Upgrade, there's a bunch of other rappers who just make their music. They post it. I'm like, yo, check my ish out on Facebook, and they just keep quiet. That's what has been, because there's been no what was generation one did generation two didn't per se do to the next generation. Even though some people in generation two brought up some people. Cleo helped with Rachel Ray, and I just the James 1, 2, 3 there, but like they didn't help the next generation. So all these new guys, most of them haven't had any mentorship. They do not know where to look back to. All they can, like, honestly, may I think it's no problem. Sorry to disagree. Yes. May I think it's no problem because it's a blank canvas.
Yes, another thing is a good side of it.
Yes, the good side of it is like, yes, so let's do this. Let's decide what we have.
The challenge with a black canvas is the struggle is 10 times harder.
That is true.
Because somebody that has done it before, that's why even in life in general, they tell us if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you're trying to do maybe some kind of business, get a mentor, find somebody to guide you, someone who has walked the journey. So for something like music, for them to have a blank canvas where they're trying to recreate, and Mark just said, without a touch of the history to know how to carry forward, the struggle is 10 times harder, because now when you create, you need to find out, record with who. How do I get it on radio? How do I get it on a playlist? But if there's a mentor who has walked the journey, they open doors for you. So that drags hip hop a couple of more years.
Yes.
Okay, so now the hard question is, why don't the people before help the next generation?
No, but also,
I think that's the question.
It's also, how do I say? Sometimes I'm in my comfort. Like, sometimes I can reach out and say, you know what, let me help Felix. But also other times, you who's in need have to reach out and be like, yo, Felix. Or your mom. Yeah?
Now speaking
it's not always, I know that sometimes someone will reach out and it may not be not be taken on. Then you look for the next. No, whatever. Like, I'll give an example. This is what we're trying to achieve with this podcast in general. For instance, people who enjoyed, let's say, the Ninja C episode because of some of the insight she gave into maybe reaching out to sponsors and radio and stuff like that. Then they enjoy the James proper because it's talking about what you said earlier with regard to cross-genre collaborations and things like that, and maybe a little bit of insight into streaming. And maybe even when we talked about the producers in the past, and we're like, let's say, for instance, Samurai, who we all know, he's been in the thing, he's done the thing for a while, but maybe he's an in-house DJ for producer for talent, and you're like, maybe me as a producer, if that's all I do, how do I get from not just releasing how easy I play and be like, hey, I have a beat, but then play like, but I make mine, but anyway, so instead of reaching out to play, maybe what if I find a way to get into this and that. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is people can look at this thing and learn more about all these experiences and whatever. So in the same way, even if we put this out there, not every young rapper will come and listen to it. So still what I'm saying is, someone, you still have the effort to to come from you to a certain extent.
I believe it's a situation. Like it's a situation. Like our government. Burn. Anyway, I believe it's a situation.
Wait, what?
Here's why I say it's a situation. Generation 2 learned from Generation 1. 90% of Generation 2 has given up and moved on.
True.
Generation 2 learned from Generation 1. How many more people can Generation 1 teach? How many more people can Navio, can GNL, how much more information can they give? Myth is always out trying to help, because he has information. He's always like, yo, you should do this, you should do this. But how many more people can they preach to? Look at Generation 2. First of all, Trill is doing his thing. Yes, he can give advice. That's the good thing actually with Trill. Trill, if he likes your stuff, he'll literally hit you up like, yo, do this immediately. He can tell you, yo, make a video and whatever. That's the good thing with him. But now, how many more Generation 2ers can do that? How many times do you think Enigma is still waiting for people to give advice? You think Cleo is out there she has a child and she's trying to bake cake. She's going to be like, so you need what you're going to do with your song. You know, how much more can Generation 2 do? So the thing is, with the second generation fading out, the Generation 3 literally has less people to look to. That's why I say it's a situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that anything is wrong. It's just a situation whereby, like, how do we fix it? So they do need Big Ben is also here trying to keep going higher. I'm trying to drop an album. And at the same time, I'm supposed to also stop and help as many people I can. I can't do that for many people because I also don't believe I've reached anywhere that I feel like my raps could be.
Yeah, but you know,
okay, sorry.
You see, whatever generation all the artists in the industry belong to, it honestly shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're in the hip-hop industry.
Yeah.
The problem comes when you look at your bread today and not think about your bread in the next 6 months, 12 years, 1 year. Because look, you're in hip-hop, you're in the music industry, one of the richest industries in the world. But most of these artists, how many of them actually survive within the industry? How many of them have earned money, achieved stuff, bought cars, paying their rent through the industry? Very few.
Yeah.
But you look at it in a way of... as if collectively they understood that as an industry, no matter the generation, the responsibility is to shape the industry. So why it doesn't make sense for you to sit down on all of this information and knowledge and mentorship and keep it to yourself? Because if the industry grows, your bread grows. But if you're sitting on all of this information and you're not exactly passing it on for one reason or another, it doesn't help you, because you're stunting the growth and you're stunting your own growth. Because if let's say if you're going to do a billboard, now the price for a hip-hop artist, let's say if the company is going to give you 20 million, because the industry, we want to put maybe someone, we can't afford Kenzo, let's look at the industry, this one we can give him 20 million, he accepts. If the industry grew, they come with 20 million, like, who are you kidding? Like 20 mil? Like, guys are giving us 120 over here. But the challenge here is that lack of understanding that collectively the responsibility is to shape the industry. So the wars step between this generation didn't help this one, and this one is struggling, and this one is doing that. But yet the real issue at hand here is, at what point do we wake up and realize that, guys, look, put the fight aside, one collective effort, let's move.
Your last sentence is the strongest.
Yeah.
Your last sentence is the strongest.
You should have just said that.
You should have just said that and move on.
Producer, script.
Because I was thinking about what he said, and then he closed it, and it's like, let's just put the fight aside and go together. The reason people do not fight for the hip-hop industry is because the hip-hop industry does not fight for them. I think I should stop here. The thing is, the guys don't fight for it because you're fighting amongst each other, first of all.
Yeah.
NTM is going to drop a show. The guys of the Chernobyl's and the Big Sam are not going to show up. The guys of Port Bell are not going to show up. They also have their own thing going on. So first of all, among these hip hoppers, you're not together, first of all, there. So you're not even fighting for each other. You're not fighting for the fellow hip hopper. So if you're not fighting for the fellow hip hopper, you're just fighting to get your music out there. That means automatically you're not fighting for hip hop. Fight for hip hop means, first of all, I'm fighting for you, you're fighting for me, we're fighting for each other.
A Bobby Wine situation.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. We're subconsciously fighting for each other. We're all requesting each other's songs, we're all shouting each other out. When I fight for another artist, I'm fighting for the industry as a general.
True.
So the thing is, guys are fighting for themselves first, which is not giving them room to fight for each other to compete, to grow together, and that's the only way I think we can fight for hip hop. No one really fights for hip hop like, yo, hip hop's the shit and it works. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, and you know, the way you just said it, the hip hop circle is so small. We can only grow the numbers by so and so has a concert. Let's go. We are a small group. Let's all turn up. Come with a friend. Who will come with a friend?
You know, again, because I always say that the hip hop industry is like the basketball one. But I'll give an example that basketball does that maybe the hip hop industry doesn't always. One of the things is at the games, for instance, if you go to a basketball game in UG, well, in a normal season where there are fans and stuff, and let's say the game's at Lugogo or YMCA. The numbers will always be there because one, the other basketballers are all there.
Yeah.
I don't have a game today. Okay, cool. We're all going to go and watch so-and-so's game. We're all going. You understand? So once that happens, it makes it easy. Even if you're not there for the same people. Let's say if it's, I don't know, Casper Shaw and Play and Tucker are going to do timeout or something like that. Let's say you've come for that. You're there. You've made the noise. You're watching. You've increased the numbers. You've paid for the ticket. You've supported the whole thing, and that's what we need to do a lot more.
I almost wanted to. I didn't make post-dramatic stuff, but I had this dream. I was like, man, imagine having an event. Me, like, after that, this is my dream.
Yeah.
Having an event, like, let's say I'm performing, and I look there, I see Price there on MTN. You look that side, you see Big Sam. You look that side, you see Tribute, you see Portbell, you see Navio, you see everyone. And people actually going for the same show. That would be a dream.
And and
the numbers would be more than you.
And people underestimate it because imagine the influence and the fans the different artists have. If someone is dropping and a simple tweet of, oh, bought my ticket heading for this concert, a fan may also just buy because you're going to be there. You're increasing the numbers, but that disconnect of why everyone wants to do their stuff under the sheets, then you don't want to support the other dude.
You see,
you've been quiet.
I've been quiet because I was listening. Because
did
you have breakfast?
Me personally, I've been in.
Your watch doesn't even work.
It's working. Me personally, I've been part of these conversations for a while. When we did the awards, the awards event was supposed to be that. To a certain extent, it was supposed to be that event where everyone comes through, regardless of who you are inclined to. Basically, regardless of who you are. But at the end of the day, people always find something faulty with something you're trying to build. Because when we did the awards, you saw the Big Sams, how they responded. And what was interesting enough is they would also be nominated. Like, at the same time, he's pushing for guys to vote him, but he's waiting for the event to end so that he can bash it. If he doesn't win, he can bash it. So you were like, okay, now what do you really want? You wanted to first win and then you praise the awards, or you wanted to lose and then... So, personally, I think these things will always...
So wait, are you trying to say that unity is not a possibility?
It's not a possibility.
Exactly.
I've already said it before.
In the first episode, I've said it before. About the lack of unity.
It's not a possibility.
And he was the first one to be like, no.
It's not a possibility. One thing we can do is you work with someone who is willing to work with you.
But let me paint a picture. Let me paint a picture for the industry, for whoever will listen to this. I'm married, I have a kid, I stay with my little sister as well. We are one household, yeah? You see, we are one household. But at the end of the day, we all go out and do different jobs. My little sister has her own job, I have my own job, my wife has her own job. Of course, the kid stays at home.
The kid is still unemployed.
But you see, if I was out there and I got an opportunity where you can bring in anyone, it's quite foolish of me to not think of my wife or sister first. Because... because let's say if we all have 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, but let's say Saturday there's like a gig somewhere and they're paying 500K. It's foolish of me not to tell my wife and my little sister of like, yo, let's go do this gig, bring in this 1.5 home. Because I could be like, you know what? No, my household, let me call Mark. Let me call Play. Let's go do these things. They're my boys. But what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to see how to grow my circle, hip hop industry now, and how collectively it works for us. If we go out there, if I expand this opportunity to them and we bring in that 1.5, our net worth has increased. So we can solve more problems and invest this money into something bigger. But you see, the industry here, so how does it help you for you to have an opportunity and not want to bring it to the inner circle of hip hop? Because at the end of the day, you see, if you're not growing the circle, because if I increase your income, how is it helping me? If I increase my wife's income, it's helping me. So if a hip hop person has an opportunity, and because you don't want to help some other hip hop artist, you give it to somebody else and they grow their income.
Or you don't give it at all.
Or you don't give it at all. How is it helping you? I guess what I'm trying to come down to is understand the industry.
Do you also realize, Felix, that this whole thing still comes back to what I said, the narcissistic fuck up. This is another narcissistic fuck up. This whole, we can't be united, I'd rather be here, that is a narcissistic fuck up. That's, I'm right. You're not.
Because
Same thing.
You see,
Here's the thing I'm saying. The whole unity thing is like you said, a dream, right?
Yeah.
It's a dream that we may not realize, some of us.
Yeah, but not realize why.
First, wait, here's the thing.
Your grey hair.
But here's the thing. We may not realize it,
Because
but
of your grey hair.
you understand? But because it's like this. Imagine I have money to give you, right? But you are online every day abusing me. You picture that. I have money to give you, but every day you are online bashing me. Let's be honest. Am I going to give you that cash?
You actually have money to give me.
Yeah, I have money. I have money to give. I have money to give. And here's the funny thing: the tribe is one. Should I say entity you can abuse? But tomorrow we overlook it and we try to put you on.
Yeah.
There's a time Mickey Solo came for us. Hard, like he abused us. He went in. Basically, he went in. He got his ball. They went in, and then the next few minutes, I was calling in. Sorry. And then the next few minutes, I was calling him and I'm like, yo, dude, you just dropped your EP. Come and do this interview. I've booked it for you. And whatever he said, I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't mind it. And, you know? So here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there is no room for unity. There is room. But until we get to that day where everything is all good and all rosy, and everything is all rosy and everything. How about you work with the people who are willing to work with you?
Yeah, but some where it becomes difficult.
Because here's the thing.
Everyone is dying.
From where I sit, it's like this. Like the past 5 years of the tribe. We've done more than 10 years. The past 5 years of the tribe. My goal has been monetizing UG Pop. And the way I look at it is, if I do an event and it has sponsors and the sponsors are putting 20 million, that 20 million has to come out somewhere. That 20 million may not come to me, may not come to the person who I'm working with, but somewhere it has gone in the industry. It is an investment into the industry. That's why even our approach was, how about we take an event that is going to cater for everyone? Because if it caters for everyone, that's an investment in the industry. Not one person, not a Felix, not a tribe. No, it's an investment into the industry. And somehow it has to come back out. It may not come out this year or tomorrow. To come back like probably, let's say 3-5 years later, that money is going to come out somewhere. And if it comes out, someone is going to be there to earn that cash.
But the credit on the awards, man, that was dope.
We are doing another major thing. I'm going for me, to say yes, we can announce. But ideally, we have been about monetizing, and that's how we've looked at it. So in the process of monetizing, right? If I'm going to work with someone, I want to work with even someone who has been hostile to me. But before I get to the person who has been hostile to me, let me first start with Play, who has been pushing whatever I've been doing. You understand? That's how I look at it.
Now let me first body him. I've been ready for this. So I think we don't know the meaning of the word uniting. I feel like we have to go back to school. Because we think, I can tell from your definition, from every person's definition online, that people think uniting means we are all friends.
We are all on the
We're all friends. We're all like, you know, that is not what uniting means. That is befriending. That's vibing. Uniting means having the same purpose and goal. That's what it means. Random example. I'm sure when hip hop was at its peak in the 2010s, not everyone were friends. The Atlas and whatever had beef, knives, and so those beef. But it was more united than now. When you look at
but they were on songs together.
You know, when you look at the time the Biggie and Pac passed, there was beef. East Coast, West Coast, South was trash. There was beef, but it was united. They had a full award show together. The beef was man to man, but hip hop was glorified. By uniting, you all have the same purpose.
Yeah.
I can have a problem with Ian. Me and Ian don't talk like man. Ian, I hate your writing. I hate your hat. That's why you wear it backwards, not forward. But then we're all trying to do the same thing.
It's the maroon game,
It's
the maroon game.
It comes back to again what Ian said. Like this is Nigerian, and let's say you have a Wizkid, Team Davido.
Exactly.
But then when they're both out and the world is
African
looking,
music
it's
killing
theirs,
them.
it's Nigerian.
That's what the actual purpose of uniting hip hop is. Even if I have a problem, like even if NTM has a problem with I do not know someone, it's okay to have a problem. But then when the hip hop comes, hip hop should be moved forward ahead of them.
Exactly.
But you see, that's what we have been trying to do.
Yeah, but you see,
been trying to do.
Exactly.
Because once we were out there and we were speaking on hip hop, it wasn't that I don't mess with this guy, I don't mess with that guy.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we are one unit. We are one unit. That's why when we're out there and they ask us, is Gravity hip hop? I'd be like, yes, he's hip hop. At the end of the day, I may not talk to Gravity. Gravity might be disagreeing with what I'm doing, but he's hip hop.
Understand. Just so you know.
No. I'm not understand, but
I was about to plead the fifth.
I'm not understand, but it's conversation, and I believe that. Yeah.
And that's
So that's the way.
Understand?
That's the way it has been. Because the way I always looked at it was like this, right? When you're out there, you are hip hop. Like you are speaking on hip hop, you're speaking for hip hop. Every chance you get to be on a mainstream platform like a Bukede, you're speaking on hip hop and for hip hop.
Yeah.
But
That's true. That's very true.
so now you have come out, you're speaking on your family. But like every family, you deal with your issues internally.
Yeah.
So you come back internally and then you are like, okay, big Sam, one for me, but let's examine why you abused me. Do you have a concern, an actual concern?
Do you want to fight?
How can we address it?
Guns, just figure out the weapons.
Exactly. Like that's the way me personally I've always pictured it.
Yeah, but you know, it comes from a place of our industry doesn't know how to take criticism.
Badly.
Because you see, for you may do the reason people are always bashing you for the cases why they've come for you and the Tribe UG, it's because you genuinely voiced an opinion and someone has taken it the wrong way instead of looking for not the bad in the opinion, but what constructive criticism are you giving? Remember that episode?
It was called last night. Last night.
You remember the episode of the New Kids on the Block?
I was about to talk about that. It's amazing to see some of the reactions from the new guys because, you know, like, always Ian. Ian went and said, you know, Dark Mizzo shouldn't rap, he should produce or whatever. Yeah. But their reactions online, their interactions, pretty dope.
Yeah.
There's Dark Mizzo, there was Naxa, there was Larry himself. Larry was there posting, where he was the first person to post when James Proper was saying, I don't understand the meaning of his song, Supernova, what's that? Like, what's that? What does the word mean? But still, his type of reaction, that is it. Like, that is what keeps the ball rolling.
This is why I'm saying we should forget the past and let the new kids take it.
But you see, unfortunately, you need the past. Because if you're going to battle, you need your best soldiers. You need your best foot forward.
You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're going.
But old soldiers don't want to fight.
But that's the thing. The reason we're pushing this conversation is to get them to realize you're the best, you're the Avengers on the team. Thanos is here, we need you at the front.
We can't start saying
all I'm saying is, for the new guys, if the gold guys come, let them come. But the new guys, they should run with it. They should run with it.
For example, the new guys, I'll give an example. Okay, they are not typical hip hop, but I'll give an example of the Bantu vibes.
They are hip hop.
Bantu.
They are
Some
hip-hop,
of them.
don't you ever
Some
say
of them.
No, he's saying that.
Because Bantu Vibe
Because
is
it
in
has
there.
the other
There
people
is
that
Cohen.
say
There is who.
Cohen.
Young Money,
JC.
they're still OG.
But I would say this.
Right.
I would say this. They have went out there and have done their thing.
They have gone.
They have gone out there and have done their thing. Is that you, Shinkazi?
Hold on.
Let's go. Let's roll with it.
Wait.
So they have went where? They have went to
Felix was a backbencher.
for writing YouTube articles.
The school fees money has went.
But essentially, they have gone out there, they have set up, they have done their events, they have done their music.
Yeah.
They have created their own,
Visuals,
their own
Yes.
thing. And
Yes.
this is like without the, should I say, OG overlooking them and everything.
Uh-huh.
So personally, me, I think that's the way to go.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah,
the way
but
to go.
That's, even Wonder Junior, same thing.
Yeah.
Wonder GR.
Wonder GR.
But you know, I agree. I agree. Of course, what there's that Luganda thing of Tugenda Nabagenda.
Yeah.
So
Who are they going to wait for? Big Sam?
exactly, like
Waiting for
if
the
they can't wait for you, they move. But now, moving forward, they need to. You may not necessarily move with them, but understand what they did, learn from their mistakes, and moving forward, correct some of those
And
errors.
for me, that's now the gap again, still for the new guys, because now, like, if that very example you've given, the whole Bantu situation, the expressions and all that. Listen, they're doing stuff that I like. They're doing music I like, styles I like. Go ahead, I'm like the number one. You know, they're doing everything. They're doing what I like, but I feel like they're not inviting us in. I feel like they're doing it with their people.
No, actually,
And
they
that's
are.
for
They
me
just don't
the-
know how to reach us. Because I've
But that's the
said
thing.
invites
Let's look
and
at
stuff.
something like this. We've talked about them. We've engaged with them. With whatever. I mean, you know, bring us in small.
I think when they think of
We roll with it. We go.
I
We
need
move.
all the money. They don't want to take it away from me. Yeah, but essentially that's what I believe. But it has been a heavy episode, so allow us to ease it a bit, and we are going to ease it with a few questions.
3.
No, few questions.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that's the question.
A
Like,
few
what number?
questions. Few questions. Question number 1. Your favorite verse on UG's Most Wanted. It can't be yours.
You mean besides mine? 'Cause my
Yeah.
verse was hard. You guys.
It can't be yours.
Agreed.
regardless, it can't be yours.
Ah, no, it's mine. I'm sorry. I thought about it.
The second favorite.
So all other niggas were trash.
Hey, just because a Benz is better than a Primo doesn't mean a Primo is trash.
True.
Yeah, just saying.
It also depends on who's driving what. For you,
Exactly.
a Primo may be the best car you've ever seen.
So all I'm saying, no,
Okay, your second best verse.
my second best. I think I will go strugglingly with Taka. I think. Yeah. I think I'll go with Taka.
Rihanna or Beyonce.
Lydia Jasmine.
That's the bucket list. You
Aye, what are you? The tribe UG or what? The tribe UG or what?
We are the only ones. What are you saying?
There's no O.
He's either us or nothing. So
It's okay.
Speaking of Lydia Jasmine, hold on.
Yeah, this.
No, now I'm going on this.
It's okay. okay.
You have an album coming up, and obviously we expect, we hope that you have some features from the other side of the music industry. Is that Lydia Jasmine type collabo on the?
Lydia Jasmine looks good, but I mean, I don't know about her singing. But I mean, it's okay, but I can't imagine me being there and be like, I need Lydia Jasmine on this hook. She would kill it. I really don't see myself saying that.
You don't need her on the hook, but
She can get on the hook though. Can we edit this out?
we have to leave it. We have to leave it. Just
I'm going to increase the amount of money.
But do you have for your new album? Do you have collabos from the other side?
Yes, I have, and I'm working on some And some. I have some. Hey, what if I say I'll be spoiling?
Actually,
You guys don't
don't
need to
spoil
wait.
it. It's all right.
Yeah.
But maybe you should let people in on the album. I know you've told us it's Aura, a Ugandan
Yeah.
rap album.
Yes.
Wait, guys, you see the guy thinking.
Man,
It's
thinking.
no effort.
You have to use your school fees. Alex.
Hey, adult education.
It's not working well. It
Don't
went.
let them went down the drain.
It went correctly.
But yeah, so a little more about the album. Maybe when they should expect it. What
The
we
album
should
is this.
expect
The
from
album
it.
is this year. It's a two-sided
Yeah.
album. Side
We
A,
shall
side
hold
B.
him to that. Side A, side B.
Yeah, side A, side B. Side A is a Ugandan, so it has Ugandan music. And
for
side
them.
B,
Side A is for the main Ugandans.
yes, it's for the main Ugandan.
Side B is for the side chick.
Aren't you? Isn't Kay married?
Yeah, he is married, but
Did
yo, like it's wild on the
I'm
podcast.
judging you right now as well.
Hey, I think he got a visa for the podcast, so he can say anything.
He's also forgiven it today.
It's my safe space.
Side B is the hip hop side. Side B is the hip hop side. And there's some collabs I'm really trying to nail, and if I get them, yeah. I've got some crazy appearances already, and as usual, I'm doing what I want, which means I'm getting some people who are not exactly mainstream or exactly the most famous, but they deliver exactly what I need.
And from your most recent songs, Holiday, Osaga,
Yeah.
you've created a certain vibe.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I feel like you're one of the artists that have understood how to bridge the gap between hip hop and the other side.
Thank you, sir.
So for this album, we are really looking forward to it because it's not just hip hop; it's a vibe. I mean, holiday, lockdown, we're stuck in our cribs, but you're playing the jam. You're like, I'd rather be on an island, but since I can't be, let me listen to this jam and you know.
Be on an island.
Like, imagine my album first of all being a disappointment. You guys come here and start discussing by 1 billion plays.
We'll sit down with you
shillings.
here. World premiere will be here, track by track. We'll break it down.
Hey, by the way, set up a session.
Eh?
Hey, welcome. We shall break down the song, the album with 1 billion shillings.
When is the tentative date?
I'm not the last half of this year.
That's all for this year.
Yeah, the last half, because there's some people I need to lock down to do some things. I want people
cool.
to-
First,
Be-
give
be-
us
be-
the collabs that might
No, I
come
was
through.
first what I was saying is, this album is going to be the hardest. Might be the hardest hip hop album in UG history. This might be.
Nice.
We hope so, because that way there's a new bar set, and then
Yeah, then we move.
then someone else tries to.
Nah,
figure
but
out
I can tell
The
you with
third
certainty.
generation will have someone to look up to.
They better. All the last albums I've been listening to locally over the last few years are good, but I don't think they're doing what I'm working on. Like, I'm sorry.
We hope so.
Yeah, and when we're doing research for this episode, of course, we went to your YouTube channel. We looked at some of the videos you've done in the past and recently.
There's a lot,
It's
people.
And we, from a bit of research we've done, I understand that you do some of this stuff yourself.
All?
The videos.
The videos. Yeah.
Probably all.
All.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So we are in a movement where the world generally, in terms of entertainment, we are more visual than audio now. So you're preparing a new album. You're going to, of course, you'll drop the music, but most of the traction usually comes from videos.
Yeah.
So as you record and prepare the album, are you already conceptualizing the visuals for?
Yeah, actually, I have a problem that most of the songs are too bad, you gay. so like, I'm here asking, well, what's wrong? Which one's going to have a video? I'm like, no, but there's that.
Just do Beyonce.
But I don't have Beyonce money. I'm not married to Jimmy, and I don't have that kind of money. No, but hey, look, that's money. That's the kind of money. I'll shoot videos for all songs and interludes. No, but I'm trying to. I want to do a show. Stop laughing, man. These are things you're supposed to get and move on real quick, okay? Just let it go. It has passed. It's like the
Man.
elections. It's gone. The guy signed in yesterday, it's gone. No, so what I mean is, I want to do a short movie, a very short movie, and I think that should bring most of the video into perception.
Yeah.
It was going to be a 20-minute movie. I was working on the script and I realized, okay, this is dope, but the way Uganda is set, it's going to be a hustle pulling it off. Imagine you're there shooting a movie and then people pop fast pass. You get, you're there shooting and then like a rubber bullet passes your ear. Yeah, so I'm like, tear gas, man. Then you have to get that shit in slow motion. That would be cool though. But the thing is, so like I've just thought about it and I'm going to simplify the movie. Maybe I'll make the other part a comic book because we do comic books too, if the interest happens. So. Yeah. That's an alternative.
But you could alternatively shoot the movie in Ginger.
Yeah, but this particular story is a Ugandan one. The gingerbread I would have done there's a part, of course, there's a song called Gingerbread. This song is too bad. There's a song called Gingerbread, which is so dope. So dope. That one's going to be shot in Ginger. But then this particular album video needs to be in Kampala. Yeah. Because the story tells.
And for any chance I get, I always tell this story. Whenever I listen to your music, for me, it's always been very visual for me. Because the music flows and elevates in a certain way where you can, as you're listening, you can picture what the visuals would look like. But for me, this particular one goes in a way of, I was looking for a soundtrack for the moment.
Yeah.
We're helping a friend of mine pick up some cars and we were driving at night and that Bullshit song with J Watts. So we're driving at night. I'm like, if we had like drones recording this footage of the cars at night, I'm like, but it would be such a lead soundtrack. Because, I mean, we're on the grind. It's at night. Yeah. We're bringing in this man's machines. This is...
Let me just say the album, first of all, I advise in advance not that you don't listen to it at once. If you have the time, do. But listen to part S separate from part B because each part is a movie of its own.
Yeah.
It's one, like it's supposed to take you to... Like, your emotions are going to go and flow until the end. Then you pause. Then you go. So like you get it and just watch like a movie.
Yeah.
Like you watch, like experience it. Finish Avengers, you finish to watch chill. Wait for your 1 year, watch Endgame.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it for two reasons because the way you're explaining what you have planned matches some of the stuff we've been saying we hope for. For instance, if we look back at the last episode with James Proper, we're talking about one album being created not just as compilations of music, but someone has a plan, maybe an arrangement, like a setting that they want, an order, like even what you say, it's the idea that you want someone to experience like this, and then maybe side that may take them on this other journey, stuff like that. I feel like it's such a dope thing to imagine and to anticipate. But also there's you've also added the Ugandan story of it all.
Yeah.
And that's, like, again, something that James Proper said himself. He's like, sometimes guys are telling a story that we can't relate to. Guys are going to tell us some LA Lakers jazz. Guys are going to tell us some stuff that's not ours.
Yeah.
So you enjoy it on a foreign basis and instead of, like, properly... feeling that attachment and that, like, this could be me. Like, this comes back. I mean, we've said it even in past when I talk about the Ugandan album. Like, for me, when Maritza said, we go to Pana, in the first song, the number of times my friends say this, like, that's the first not even song, like track one, and she's saying that, and I'm like, yes, like, we go. Well, lockdown, those things, curfew, what? But we go. So I'm looking forward to seeing...
You know the joke they tell about curfew?
Few cars.
No.
You did say dry joke. Sorry.
Such a dad joke.
Are you saying, we used to go to Pana, but now curfew? But there's a Uganda that still goes there.
Yeah, no. That's
like,
not a joke.
Curfew.
This is new.
No,
it's an update.
No, listen.
It's like a reminder.
No, the joke is...
Oh, the joke is curfew. Curfew is the joke.
No, curfew is the joke, but also curfew is for us. Like, you get... curfew is not for everybody.
They told me there are 3 Ugandans, but I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up in the album. With regard to today's episode, you see, I wanted us to have one insight from a rapper because, I mean, we've talked about... we've had Ninja C on the show, but it wasn't from our rapper perspective that we're really digging into. But now we've had you come and tell us maybe some of the things you've experienced. Maybe it will explain, for instance, I know that when we talked about 2014 to to 2021 and what the rappers were doing.
Yeah.
I remember mentioning when we were talking about Tucker, who probably in that list has released the most music.
Yeah.
I remember saying maybe some of that music, like a lot of it came in let me say the second half of that time period, like a lot of it came later on, and he's been on a roll since, like releasing a lot of music. So maybe such things explain that gap and why maybe things might have taken a while. So we're just looking into seeing some of these stories. I mean, I'm not saying that's Tucker's story as well.
Yeah.
This is Play's story. But it is a playbook.
Yo, new album coming out. Shout out to Playbook.
But maybe you guys can then come and see, what y'all be going through behind the scenes. Guys, I think it's a matter of you guys just waking up and going and pressing play. And music is there. So when it's not there, we go play and be like, why isn't it there? Like even with Taka, who we have said has given us music, we're still going to say, Taka, where's that music?
We want the album.
He's giving us more music and we're still like, Taka, where's the album? And we're like, he's like, guys, I even have another new video, I have another new this, but we still want.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on something small. We've talked about streaming and it's all been active online and everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny because hip hop fans, we're the type of people that would be on a Tidal, on a Spotify, or whatever.
Yeah,
so
man.
how come? Why do you think, from your perspective, why do you think our numbers are still not that high? Let's say in terms of the streaming itself. James Proper read for us a list of the top songs. Yes, there was a couple of hip hop ones there, but they were not
Hip-hop-ish.
Yeah, they were hip hop-ish. They were not the typical. So
first of all, people still think Tidal and whatever expensive.
yeah,
But
it's a
but-
mindset.
Yes, it's actually a mindset. Honestly, it's a mindset. Like, it costs 10, because me, I'm using Spotify. It costs me 10K per month. Yeah,
Yes.
and I can even download the songs to my phone.
Yes, it's the
Like
same
that,
with
like
the
that's
Tidal.
good. The Tidal is just like 10K. When like Beke is like, man, that's expensive. And first drops like a 50 and like two bottles of water. Just explaining how expensive it is. like I was online and I was reading Mr. DJ was talking about how expensive the streaming sites are when the discussions happened a couple of weeks back.
Yes.
I explained, I'm like, yeah, dude, I put how much is 200 300 MB on the phone because I thought I was like, man, this should last me for at least this route of music. Spotify put 300 MB. I went, listened to music, blasted, came back to just like on 240. I'm like, hey, and this is high quality sound. I can't explain it. I don't know how the app works, but like it's not that expensive as one would actually think.
Yeah.
Streaming it's not. Plus, you can get any song anytime. Like.
Yeah.
There's a time I was driving out of town and I found I put on, my friend had an Apple playlist and Apple Music and we were playing top 100 hip hop songs in Africa. Then I had a hip hop song I'm hearing, gay rapping in Luganda. I'm like, okay, it's a dope song. Then later we drive like another 20 minutes and I first scrolled through the playlist and it was Nemesis. And he didn't even know the song was on that playlist. Like then this is like a place that has like a lot of songs across Africa. So with the people, first of all, shouldn't fear.
Yeah.
They shouldn't fear streaming. Streaming is, trust me, like, we're fearing for nothing. YouTube is more
I
expensive.
said last time,
YouTube takes more
it's
data.
like Uber. Like we had to change a mindset to get into the cab mentality.
But we'll get there. Like I keep saying,
Yeah.
we'll get there because the fact of how Netflix has grown in the last, 1.5 years.
Yeah, since lockdown.
Particularly the 1 year, how it has grown. Everyone I meet is like, I don't have to mind Netflix.
Yes.
Like, my first check my Netflix. Everyone is flossing.
You ask for a
Netflix.
series, like, is it on Netflix?
Is it on Netflix? That stuff now pisses me off. Like, you just put like a normal status, man, I'm watching this movie at school. Those days would be like, wow, that's a nice one. Where do you know so where I can get it from? Wow, is it on Netflix? Is it like that should be a hashtag?
Is it on Netflix?
Is it on Netflix? That should actually be a hashtag. You know what I mean?
No,
Yes, so like that should be the same thing for like Tidal and Spotify.
I was
Spotify.
speaking to one of the younger rappers asking about this whole streaming situation after seeing the conversation that y'all were having online.
Yeah.
And I was saying that yes, there's a mindset change that has to happen,
Yeah.
but it's not just from the consumer's perspective. I feel like even the artists, like there's such a gap. Like again, I've said this to y'all before, but let me say it to the people. It's like this stuff of not having a one-stop shop. I want to listen to Lillian. I know there's only the Lillian the Sundowners thing there. I want to listen to so and so. There's only this, and yet if I give an example of yours, so when I listened to the album. Again, Gingerbread. I then said, oh yeah, this is the first time I listened to Jay Watts. So I click on J Watt's, go the other side. End up listening to the other J Watt songs, the number of let me say those group collabos, because we've spoken about that.
Yeah.
So listen to a few of those, listen to a few of his that have made some of my old plays, and I'm like, this song, this one. You know, you go through that, boom, fly over to another artist.
Yeah.
Like, it should be that easy, and it helps us get the numbers up, because if I listen and I find someone I don't know, and I'm like, but this person, every jam they're on is lit. I check them out. You understand? Like, so.
This is actually a good question. Why isn't Tribe on Spotify and Apple Music and so on making playlists?
We only do Tidal.
Tidal
Right?
partnership.
You tied down, huh?
Tidal partnership.
I mean, tied down.
But you see, the thing also is we want to do all those, but we want to do them the right way. We just don't want to do a playlist and stays there.
Because I think you can update this playlist.
Yeah, we can, but what we want to do is that we want to do the playlist with the support of the platform.
So that,
Basically, that's how artists get value out of it. Otherwise, it's going to just be another random
otherwise,
playlist.
it's the playlist that I make and I share.
Yeah. So right now we are enjoying that with Tidal. They're giving us that extra push.
You want that editorial status.
You wait for that. We are negotiating a billboard in Times Square, so soon it will be there. And by the way, that's not a floss, that's an actual thing.
Brag music. If they try to have a rapper.
Who's a Felix?
So at the end of the day, we want to do those. Apple Music, we are working with them, but more of like on the Chidandali side, because they already have an existing African hip hop playlist. So we are trying to see how we can
really
come
influence
in, and
them.
then when we come in, they still give us the same support they're giving all these other.
Yeah, because man, some of us are hard gays. You had our raps. Have you had me rap?
Bro, today is the first time I met you. Like, I don't know where you've been.
Tribe gays be feeling themselves.
I don't know where you've been.
Now you look at my plays stacking up on Spotify, you'll be there. You know, that's the one I use. That's the one I know.
There's a time Felix talked about music being disposable, and
Are you serious?
yeah,
The
because of
streaming era
streaming.
music.
And you know, I'd
very
had
quickly, very quickly.
I don't agree, but I see what they were saying when they said, you see, before you have your, let's say your CD,
yeah.
you've paid for it.
You listen.
Out of it. And then now it's like, guys just listen to things in
Forget even that.
right now-
If you're on radio, you have to listen to the jam.
Look,
forward
right now,
where-
the thing is this that people don't. This is now on the business side of things, so we are streaming. Right now, we are in an era where you are paying for access.
Yes.
You're not paying for ownership. And now you're paying for access to for over 50 million songs.
Do you realize that you're using the perception of a listener, not a creator? You know. I have a feeling.
Yeah, because guess what?
Okay, let's finish.
Because guess what? That's how listeners are. That's why when you open your Spotify right now, they bombard you with playlists. Like the moment you open it, they bombard you with playlists. So if you are one of those listeners who wants to discover new artists, you're going to overlook all those playlists and you go to discover new artists on your own.
Exactly what I wanted to say.
But the largest percentage of people streaming music, open which playlist?
Yeah, and you
Boom,
see,
let's
when Felix said music has become disposable, I'd had it before. I'd had it from Charlemagne on The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And I've been more conscious about it in that nowadays when I open my Tidal or Spotify and they hit me with playlist, I skip over them and go to like a category, maybe R&B, and play the new jams. Like just listen to the new music to take it back to those days where you'd watch MTV to discover music on your own.
Yeah.
And I've discovered some really, really good music over these last
crazy,
couple
all
of
those
weeks.
playlists, record labels are on them, like they're on top of them, like they pitch
course,
their
the
artists
fact-
day in, day out,
Here's the
thing.
thing. Here's why I'm not 100%. Okay, my thing is, I have this belief that everything you do, for everything you gain in the world, you lose something.
Yeah.
Everything you gain, if you have easier this, you have less of this.
Yes.
That's my belief. So the thing is, while we're saying music is more disposable, so the music is in bulk and you can whatever, you don't cherish that. Do you know that what you have exchanged for that is thousands to tens of thousands to millions of new possible artists? Do you realize that there's that exchange? Without Spotify and whatnot, I wouldn't be on the streamable by a guy in the States. Without these things, the number of artists who would access, without YouTube, the number of artists who would be able to reach out and make their videos would be extremely low. If everything was in simply the hands of the record labels, as it was when music wasn't disposable, when you had to buy your CD. First of all, you've heard the stories about how guys used to sell the music in the CDs? Yes, that was a struggle. Now, that made the number of artists that could enter and create the art very, very small. You were not judged by your art. You were judged by your sellability, your marketability, by how a music exec looked at you and said, I can sell this. That's why Pink's first album was trash, because L.A. Reid was like, you know what, let's make you a sexy R&B chick. That's when he started her Mouse Girls, one that pop-ish. But when she went back to her real self, it became something else. You see what I mean? Because labels know what they want to sell. Diddy knows what he wants to sell.
Yeah.
He'll get you, he'll design you, he'll give you all matching leather jackets and leather trousers and be like, okay, now dance the way I want you, and sells you. Yet, yet these days, that's not what happens. These days, an artist, Kenneth Mugabe, can just get his guitar and be like, this is what I like doing. Put it out. Do you like my music? So you're changing. Think about it.
You know what you've shared? What you've shared is the internet.
Yes,
it's the possibility of what the internet has done for the music industry.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you look at the context and if you look at things critically, it hasn't changed. Record labels still have that thing. It's just that now independent artists have a way through to distribute their own thing. Exactly. But even with that, guess what? Record labels own shares in all these distribution companies.
Yeah, and you know when Felix is actually right, especially remembering that he just said record labels are behind most of these playlists.
Yeah.
So they will still front their people to get onto those playlists to get the streams.
They're behind the playlists, they're behind the distribution companies that get your music on those platforms.
Yeah, so it has not really shifted the powers.
Like a few days ago, I was just with someone, and then we were discussing distribution and all that. And there's a company I mentioned, and I'm like, why don't you use that company? He's like, no, it's owned by a major label. And I'm like, okay, it's owned by a major label, cool. I'm like, what company do you want to use? He tells me the company. I'm like, go online, look, check out the company. He found out that the company he wants to use is owned by a parent company, and that parent company is owned by a major distribution company. I'm like, so what are you trying to do? Yeah. So it's on that level, like, whereby it's crazy. Like, yeah, we don't want to work. A lot of artists want to be independent. They don't want to work with majors and all that.
Yeah.
But the majors, the fact that they have access to capital, they can afford to buy out a guy. Tomorrow they buy you out and they're like, you know what? Now whoever you're distributing is part of us.
Yeah, that's actually ever since a couple of years ago. I have a friend who was going to get signed on a record label and told me they don't want to be signed because he feels like when they'll sign him to put him out of the world's competition. No, but here's my thing. Would you rather, you like talking about necessary evils, would you rather a world which is 100% controlled by record labels or a world where the independent artist has a shot, has a
10%?
Have a 10%.
Let me tell you, the independent artist has always had a shot. Ask me how. Ask me how. Let me explain to you.
Let me have asked how.
You see, the independent artists, they've always had a shot in the sense that you can build and have leverage over everything when the major comes to you.
Not everyone is Jay-Z.
Yeah, but
listen to me. That's where like everyone who is not a Jay-Z is going to sign with someone at the end of the day. That's why they're going to sign with someone at the end of the day. But if you are not that person who is like, you know what, I want to do it on my own, and then you do it on your own, at the end of the day, you're going to have leverage when they come to sign you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When they come to, so the end goal is to be part of a big label.
Yeah,
that's what you want. Because sometimes these guys just deal in the process.
Yeah, but you see, because at the end of the day, you will still never compete to their level. Because if you get to a point where you're so big and they have to buy you out, or you stay so big and still try to figure it out, you're still in uncharted waters.
There's another thing you're forgetting. If you talk about the music industry, keyword industry, you cannot be one man in an industry. This is like saying we are going to compete with MTN and Airtel, and you're one man with a satellite at home. What I mean is, that's why I'm sure when you meet with execs or like their Grammys and those things, there's always someone asks who represents you. There's a talk of agencies and whatnot. I'm 100% sure the only way to be in the mainstream is to be guided by some sort of label, some sort of arrangement, some sort of manager, agency. You basically have to be a sort of company business. You can't do it as one man. I'm quite sure.
That's why I kept saying leverage. You have to build the leverage. You have to build your company.
But what these streaming services have done is for us who do not want to be music industry pieces, as in agents. And
You don't want to be a music
No, I
industry
did not.
piece. Oh,
I did
wow.
not.
Interesting.
I do not. I just want to do what I want and I move on.
I wish we had this conversation at the start.
Your passion is your goal. So, like, basically, what I'm saying is, if you do not want, just want to put music out, you can try to do it in your sitting room and move on. And that's the great thing. That's the great thing with what streaming has done. There are literally guys who just make bedroom music, put it on, and go to work and move on.
Yeah.
As in that R&B or wait, no, sir.
Like-
no. Keep
No,
going.
what do you know what I mean?
Your R&B reference.
I just realized that. Let me just throw it in there because
This guy. But at
For
least
me,
you
it's
do-
more of what the internet has done than what the streaming services have done, really.
Yeah,
It's more what the internet has done than the streaming.
but you know, at the end of the day, if you're independent and your goal is to gradually grow, the internet has given you a platform to be in charge of your art, in charge of your revenue, in charge of your marketing, of your brand, and grow. But if you're an independent artist that hopes to use that platform to get a major record label opportunity, it's still the same old thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, pretty much.
think the
Yeah.
next episode we need to do being independent versus a record label situation.
But does it
We'll
really
get
count
there.
here?
It
We'll
doesn't
get
count
there.
here. No,
Yeah,
you got it.
It really doesn't. It really does count. It really does
We'll
count.
get there.
Because even in our setting, in our local setting, we have by our local setting and standards, we have what would define as a record label. So
They're there.
They're there, but you can move without. They're there, but you can move on without.
and here's the thing, play for you. You can say that play because you have a way to fund your career.
Or maybe to even
For you, play, you can say that.
Maybe some other guy wants to take advantage of the in-house
and that's the thing.
producer, the
And that's the
what.
thing. And the reason that's why I'm saying by
You
our
can produce
local.
on the beat.
And the reason
You want to
that's
fight. He's the one now want to
and
fight.
the reason that's why I'm saying by our local standards. Because by definition, a record label is supposed to give you resources to record and do everything.
True.
Yes,
Shoot
once
videos.
does
You're
actually.
supposed to take care of your life.
Yeah, and a lot of guys here in Kampala are doing it.
Really?
A lot,
They are.
really,
Yeah. Sound Prince was doing that for Voltage Music.
So hold on. So the record labels here actually fulfill the end of they take care of your finances,
Yeah, your
transportation,
rent, your
Sponsors,
food,
sponsors, your
everything,
clothing,
everything.
your
It's just that Swanks now
does.
has branded it and people know it to do it. But there are individual people who own bars in Kampala and his side business is they fund artists.
Even the guy of John Black did the same.
Yeah, like they are there. But so that's why at the end of the day I'm saying by our local standards. So that conversation is worth
So
having.
why
We
aren't
shall
more
have it.
artists
We
thriving
shall
to get
there.
Like I said, it's an episode.
No, because the people who have thrived have gotten there.
Understand.
But the guys, the way their pockets are set up, you can only take one artist. But there's a limit how many
One
artists
at a
you can
time.
Alright, man, please, thanks for coming through.
take. And that's just me out.
Yeah, we have to chase you
I think this guy
because,
wants to fight.
Do you
because
want to freestyle out the way you freestyle it?
So what am I going to be? It's free.
Very unscap.
They have lyrics. They have lyrics. Escape, camera gaze out, you're focusing. Means you're doing the pan.
we can drop your word, you freestyle on it.
And most of our beats would go here properly. So our beats would go properly, sitting comfortably.
Don't you have beats on your phone?
Ram next. Ask if I have beats on my phone. I don't know. Catch the Android or get the iPhone. I don't know. You can choose whatever you want. I'll get it. You can give me a couple words. Lyrically, I'll spit it. Put me in the center of people power. I'll probably kill it. Put me in front of Museveni. I won't say it. But at the end of the day, these rhymes I'm still spitting. Give me something to say because these rhymes I'm still
Camera.
killing. Talk about the camera. Focus on me. You can get the iris or ISO and set it on me. Move it back and forth. You can pan right and left. You can get me in the center or put me on the cannon as I shoot at you. Oh, it's a cannon. That's a Mac at you. Not talking about Mark. He's just aiming the Mac at you. And I'm so sick. I say that you. Like I was talking about the spear. So bless you. What's next, bro? What's next, bag? What's next, bro?
Kobusinje.
Who the hell is Kobusinja? I'll talk about the bag. I started pulling my pants up. I never sag. Put me on the stage with the mic, I probably brag. But by the end of the day, I'll still nag. Everybody on the internet. Try BG, Sam, maybe Felix, maybe Flex. You can name them all. Put them in the ground. Put them on the floor. Let them listen to me. Because by the time I'm done talking all this shit and Dewey, what's the name of shit in that word? Doobie. Oh, I'm talking dookie. Sorry, I'm forgetting my words. I'm just making up words. And every time you see me on the stage, I'm making up verbs and nouns. Pronouns, I'm making full sentences. Writing life sentences, that means I kill him with these bars. Because I cause up life sentences. And it's life that I'm sentencing. What's the next word? Give me something, because I'm done making sentences. Dough, you're talking about money. Chapu's, Rolex, maybe dough, we're talking about the extra more. Extra flow, I don't know. Somebody knock on the door. You can see me if you got 2 eggs, and that's the right dough. I'm talking about the dough. I don't know. I'm done trying to make up the stupid flows. I'm done trying to act like I was extra dope. But I don't know what he's saying. I think it's something dope. But wait. He talk about the podcast. You can go faster, run faster than the Roadrunner or Roadcast. Put me on the stage and forecast the weather's so hot today. Oh, because my flow is fast. Yesterday was raining. I was not making it rain. Oh shit, it didn't rain yesterday, but I was making it plain. It rained the day before yesterday. That was insane. But now today it's not raining. It's sunny because man, the Play01 is dropping this freestyle. It's so hot. Damn, goddamn, look at Simi drop this hot. Why are you talking about the Lexus? Talk about a Subaru.
Push the start.
Let me stop there.
Thank you, sir. Guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
And we have everything, yeah? Don't be a 7.3.
There's no 7.3.
Just checking. Alright, ready.